Day. And for the Chicago Bulls, Scottie Pippen and Horace Grant at the wings. In the backcourt, John Paxson and Michael Jordan. And at center, replacing Bill Cartwright, will be Will Perdue. He played 16 minutes yesterday in a win on the road for the Bulls at Milwaukee. And in his first year as head coach, Phil Jackson. This team 31-20 coming in and chasing the Detroit Pistons, who have won their last 11 in a row. The officials today, Bill Spooner, Hugh Evans, and Ken Mauer. Second game of the year between the Rockets and the Bulls. And Chicago with one of the better home court records in the NBA. They are 19-2 this year.
A couple of keys to this ball game. I think Chicago's got to stop the real tempo of this game that Houston wants to establish. And there's no question that Houston will have to try and contain Michael Jordan. Not let him have a nuclear afternoon. Don't let him be explosive.
Chicago just a tad late getting out of the huddle with Phil Jackson, and they're back. They're on the court. We mentioned Chicago's exemplary home record of 19-2. Michael Jordan yesterday, 39 points, 9 of 10 free throws, and really he was prouder of his defensive effort in the win over Milwaukee on the road yesterday. They put him on Ricky Pierce in the second quarter. He did a heck of a job.
He always wants to be considered the all-around consummate player, not just the scoring machine that everybody views him as. He wants to be technically thought of as the all-around player that he truly is.
Now we're told there's a problem with the basketball, so Hugh Evans goes over, gets a new one. Sleepy Floyd tests it, passes his approval. Somebody let the air out of the ball early.
That was one of those favorite tricks in the old days, you know.
Yeah?
Use a deflated ball for warm-ups for the visiting team, but somehow every once in a while one of those would get into play.
Houston controls. Sleepy Floyd. Buck Johnson has it taken away and a foul called.
Houston really does not have an exceptional half-court offense. They've got Keem Olajuwon and Thorpe, excellent low-post players, but not the outside shooting game to complement that tactic.
Floyd guarded by Paxson. Here's Mitchell Wiggins. He hits the first basket of the game.
Big surprise this year offensively, coming back from the suspension. Defensively, they're still waiting for him to show up.
Yeah, that's the problem. Don Chaney was telling us yesterday, Wiggins now thinks he's a scorer. That's for two, John Paxson, and it evens the score at 2-all.
Chicago, of course, has an exceptional half-court offense.
Now Sleepy Floyd. Entry pass to Olajuwon. The turnaround. Rebound taken down by Michael Jordan. Gets the pick from Perdue. And the rebound by Buck Johnson.
Boy, and they off the rebound try to get it and go. In Chicago so far, everybody filtering back quickly.
Olajuwon, as Pippen goes back to double down on him. Misses the shot. Here's Jordan in transition. The reach around foul by Sleepy Floyd.
Chicago picks its spots really to rebound. If they see your backcourt is uncovered, they'll attack it and push the ball hard. Otherwise, they'd much prefer to slow it down, get it inside, or give it to Michael.
22nd timeout called by the Houston Rockets, so Don Chaney will gather his troops around him. They've had serious problems winning on the road. They're 4-20, and 3 of those wins came back in November.
Well, the first 5 are really struggling, or were struggling early, to get this style down pat. They feel like that initial 5 have got the style back. Now they're looking for consistency from the bench.
Chicago back home now. They had a disastrous Western road trip, but they have played, as we said, very well at home, trailing Chicago, or rather New York, for the best record in the NBA. Utah, the Lakers, San Antonio, and Detroit all up there too.
I think this team plays a lot on emotion, and this building provides the emotion for guys like Pippen and Grant.
Tommy, has this always been a tough place to play, or is that recently?
Recently. Just never, when I was coaching, really wasn't that difficult. They had some good teams here.
Ball batted up. And Sleepy Floyd controls, but stepped on the line. It'll be Chicago ball.
But they throw 3 at you real fast. There are 3 guys going to be getting up that court like Reese Layton.
2-2 ball game. Wiggins on Jordan. Paxson jumper top of the key, hits his second shot.
Well, there's one of the variations. Jim Paxson being included more into the set offense than perhaps he was under Doug Collins.
Taken away by Scottie Pippen. He averages 2.5 steals a game. All the way.
Exceptional move. Quick forward. Becomes the middleman. Split the defense.
A 6-2 Chicago lead. Wiggins over Jordan, short. Rebound put in. Otis Thorpe gets his first of the game.
There's a couple of matchup challenges going to happen this afternoon. One of them is Will Perdue defending him against Akeem. And we're going to see a little drop back by Pippen, and they've been wanting real good defense from him. That's where they feel they must have game in, game out.
Jordan posts up. Nice pass. And the tip, followed by Will Perdue.
Well, when you forget about Will Perdue, he's just smart enough to take advantage of it. You got to put a body on him.
For all practical purposes, this his first year. He didn't play much at all his rookie season. That ball tipped out, controlled by Houston. Buck Johnson. Baseline jumper, Wiggins. Rebound, Horace Grant.
The Achilles heel of Houston, outside shooting.
Now, Don Chaney said he's more than pleased with his front line, but he needs more scoring from his backcourt. And when they play on the road, everybody just packs it in on them. There's Grant. And it's an 10-4 Chicago lead.
That's a much happier player this year under Phil Jackson than under Doug Collins. Feels he's included in the offense more.
8:40 to go, first quarter. Chicago up by 6. They trailed in their game to Milwaukee by 13 in the second quarter yesterday before coming back. That'll be Houston's ball.
The obvious strategy right now of Chicago is when the ball goes inside, double and triple team, force it out to the weaker outside shooters. Good percentage defense. Got to wait to see what happens. Prove it to me, players.
Paxson. Pick and roll. They go back to Buck Johnson. And Jordan's all over. 24-second shot clock goes on.
The other thing that Houston, on the double teams, the ball will come out, but they very seldom go that extra pass to work the defense.
Third Houston turnover. It's a 10-4 game. 8:20 to go, first period. Horace Grant from Jackson. Jordan, rather. Johnson looks down court. Tipped away by Horace Grant. It'll be Houston's ball to inbound.
Well, Otis Thorpe was defending, and on the shot really took off. He was wide open. They didn't spot him behind.
Johnson. Grant with another rebound. Pippen. That'll be Houston's ball.
Well, Pippen is a great finisher on the fast break. When they get up on the wing, he's got the size, the strength, and the ability to glide by people, much like Jordan. But his outside shot is still very suspect.
Scottie Pippen, of course, named to the All-Star squad this year, and really hasn't played that well since then. There's a foul on Will Perdue. That's his first. Second team foul against Chicago.
Well, it's a real challenge for Will Perdue because he just doesn't have the mobility to stay with perhaps the quickest center in the NBA, and Elijah.
And Bill Cartwright, on the front line. Mitchell Wiggins just stepped across the line. There's Billy Cartwright. He came out and worked out in his uniform for about an hour, and then decided he couldn't go for the third game in a row. He fell on his back against Orlando here last week, or in Orlando rather. Jordan. Rebound, Otis Thorpe. 10-4, low-scoring game thus far. There's 2 for Houston.
Now there is the power forward who becomes a middleman. That's exceptional fast break stuff.
Paxson.
Don Chaney has all kinds of drills to allow everybody to play in the middle. Now you watch the rebounder, Otis Thorpe, just take off, become the middleman on the fast break, good dribbling ability, and splits the defense. Now, Not many coaches would let their power forward become the middleman. And that's a concession to utilizing speed.
Purdue in trouble. Michael Jordan.
Paxson really maneuvers this offense. Really reads the game situations, perhaps the best of any of the point guards that the Bulls have.
12-6. Chicago leads it. There's the double down on Olajuwon. Pippen helping Purdue out. Now it's Jordan. Nice move. Nice drop step by Olajuwon, and then misses the shot.
The double team really pinned Olajuwon underneath the hoop. Good defense that time by Chicago.
Time has been called. The Bulls are up by 6. Chambers had 40 in the first half, I think I saw.
He was absolutely immense yesterday, I'm led to believe. Ended up with 56 and second place high scorer for the season.
Chicago hitting 6 of 11.
Well, we're going to see right now part of the strategy to take Olajuwon's game away from him. A quick double down, and Purdue cutting off the baseline forced Olajuwon underneath. And Olajuwon will be facing that type of defense all afternoon.
Now, whoever is closest is going to be the second man there. Here come the Bulls. They lead it by a 12-6 count, 6:17 to go in the first quarter. Jordan hits another.
You know, that type of double-down defense will help Will Purdue do a reasonably decent job on Olajuwon.
Now, would they employ the same tactic if Cartwright was available?
Probably would, just to force the ball out of Olajuwon's hands like this.
There was Jordan doubling down there, and the basket no good. Olajuwon with a rebound, and Grant fouls it.
But there's one absolute thing you've got to do with Hakeem Olajuwon. He is a fierce competitor, and once a shot is taken, he goes heavy to the boards. Now, you watch on the right of your screen, Will Purdue really not concentrating on Olajuwon. And here's Olajuwon over everybody. Fought his own teammate, but you've got to put a body on Olajuwon. Here's the foul coming up.
Made headlines in Houston, of course, when he said he thought he might want to play for somebody else. He didn't know if Houston would ever be a championship team, and Don Chaney said yesterday that he has no problem with Hakeem, that Hakeem simply doesn't understand the process, that he has to be patient, and that they're trying to build a championship team.
Dealing with superstars is very touchy at times. Particularly when he's a cornerstone. I speak from experience. And one of the things you got to do is talk to your superstars and explain things to them a little bit. I think since that little talk Don Chaney had with him, Hakeem is playing much better team basketball.
There's Purdue missing on the shot. And a loose ball foul. Called on Will Purdue. That's his second foul. 14-7. Stacey King ready to come in now. Stacey King had some quality minutes yesterday, playing in place of Will Purdue. He and Ed Neely really sparked this ball club in their win at Milwaukee.
Well, Stacey King is fast becoming, in the words of the organization, an impact player off the bench.
Had 14 points yesterday following a season high of 18 against Miami. Olajuwon. Buck Johnson battles for the ball. Jump ball. Olajuwon, Horace Grant.
One thing I noticed very quickly is that King never left Olajuwon to go for the rebound. He was prepared to block him out.
.5:12 to go first quarter. Slow starting ball game. 14-7 Chicago.
Don Chaney's really been in a dilemma all season long with the bench having the problems that they have. You can't keep running without using your bench effectively without tiring out in the fourth quarter.
Boy, that was a fine play by Sleepy Floyd to get out of trouble. And the basket, Mitchell Wiggins, who now has 4 points. 14-9. Jordan looks inside for Stacey King. Grant. King with the loose ball. Jordan. He's got 6.
He's already learned the offense. Find Michael.
Sleepy Floyd throws it away. Chicago ball.
Well, those are some of the kind of decisions Sleepy Floyd has been having difficulty with, running the middleman spot most of the time in this Don Chaney offense. You really have to create things for other people, and he has difficulty recognizing what pass to make.
This is a Houston team that is averaging 17 turnovers a game, and they've got 6 already. Paxson, nice pump fake, got the basket. But I think you said that 17 turnovers is not that many for a running team like the Rockets.
If you're going to push the ball up and go try and get 100 shots, the timing of a fast up-tempo team is so crucial that you're going to have turnovers. But if you play that pace, you usually end up with more shots. So seemingly those turnovers are equal probably to a team that slows it down of about 14 a game. So not bad.
Last foul, an offensive foul on Otis Thorpe. 18-9, largest lead of the game now for Chicago. Paxson, Pippen, Jordan, King, and Grant on the court for the Bulls. No substitutions yet for Houston. Getting ready to make their first one momentarily. Larry Smith will come in. There's Grant short with the shot. And Sleepy Floyd controls for the Rockets.
Chicago has been back very quickly this whole first quarter.
Olajuwon gets the rebound, almost loses it, picks up the dribble, and fires a wild shot that caroms off the glass and falls in.
Well, there were 3 guys around him, but somehow or other he got over the top.
Paxson for 3. Yes!
What a sweetheart of a player. Michael Jordan says he may not have the athletic skills of anybody else that we've ever had at that spot, but he's got a bigger heart.
Hakeem Olajuwon counters with a 2-pointer for the Houston Rockets. 21-13, just under the 3-minute mark. There's Jordan again. Way up in the air. Horace Grant got the rebound.
There's a happy man. And when you're happy, you offensive rebound. When you're not happy, you only defensive rebound.
Stacey King.
He might have been the premier low-post player coming out of last year's draft.
Timeout Rockets. The lead is 10. 23-13. John Paxson leads the way with 9 points. They have not had an effective bench. 19 points in the last 13 games versus their opponent's 40.
Well, if Larry Smith had been allowed to come off the bench and play his normal position, power forward, what a great addition off the bench he would have been. But more often than not, he's forced to play the backup center position for considerable periods, and he's not big enough to do it.
Ed Neely is in for the Bulls as well, and he's on Olajuwon right now after the switch. There's Buck Johnson. That was for 2. Wiggins with the follow. And Stacey King with the rebound.
Well, there's a guy that knows how to get an outlet pass. Stacey King.
Jordan to King. And Olajuwon with the ball.
2 minutes. The outlet passes right now of Houston not getting up too far up the court. So they're having to slow it down. Good defense to stop the fast break by Chicago.
Olajuwon, there was the double down again as Jordan came over, and then quickly after the miss is at the other end. And with a chance for 3. He doubled down on Olajuwon, saw the shot miss, immediately exploded outside, made the basket, goes to the free throw line.
Well, he reads game situations pretty well. You're going to see him at the left of your screen. He's already gone, and Pippen with his head up. Now, this is a commitment to using speed. This guy is the premier open court player in the league, and sometimes you don't like to do that. He just says he likes to control the game situations so that he wants to determine when they should run or not run.
Michael Jordan just celebrated his 27th birthday on the 17th of February. One of his other teammates on the floor right now, Ed Neely, is 30 years old today. Here's Jordan, or Olajuwon rather. But he'll shoot a couple.
That's probably the best way to defeat a double team, is make the shot, make you move off the catch. And Stacey King, obviously, coming out of college, a great offensive player. He's got a lot to learn about defending people down in the low post on a man-to-man basis.
Phil Jackson gives Michael Jordan a rest now with his 9 points, and Craig Hodges comes on. Olajuwon gets the first of the 2 free throws.
Oh, Hodges really an exceptional pickup for this ball club. When they implemented this triple post offense, the low guys trying to get it inside. Boy, what a complimentary player, shooting 47% three-point shots.
26-15, the lead 11. Scottie Pippen finds King for two. No! Let up on the shot, and it rolled right over the rim. Buck Johnson with the foul. King has got to be exasperated with that one.
Here you're going to see Pippen. He is an exceptional slasher. Can put it on the floor. Makes a good decision that time. As he spots King, that should have been two, no question.
Stacey King gets
wants Eddie Murphy to play him on a movie of his life. Thinks he's a funny guy like Eddie Murphy, I believe.
I think Eddie Murphy's funnier.
Well, that was pretty funny. He knocked himself in the head.
Out of Oklahoma, Stacey King gets two. 13-point lead, 28-15. Olajuwon gets one.
Getting up over the top of Stacey King so he can see the basket.
Good defense by Olajuwon. Whose ball? Chicago ball.
In college, Stacey King probably could have squeezed that through for 2 points. Against Olajuwon, forget about it.
Now Scottie Pippen will inbound, finds John Paxson, who has 9 first-quarter points. Match up with Sleepy Floyd. Ed Neely. Boy, he had a quality game yesterday. He's only played in 24 games this year. Pippen. Short. Olajuwon goes left for the outlet pass. Mike Woodson is on the court for the Rockets as well. He's been battling injuries, number 42.
Woodson, a great scorer. That's what they were looking for, some kind of instant offense off the bench. But, boy, he read the defense. And Larry Smith, who is not the world's fastest runner at the power forward spot, really got a good angle on Neely. So you can see Woodson's taken to Don Chaney's offensive strategy. That's been the Rockets' problem. They have not been able to really get a specialist to come in. When you're going to play a up-tempo game like this, you need an instant offensive guy off the bench or an exceptional defensive guy, particularly playing in the perimeter, makes him steal.
I know, as Smith misses both of them. That's where you think the loss of Tim McCormick really hurt, because Don Chaney had exactly the man he wanted for the running game.
Boy, he would have fit in so beautifully as a trailer. Got the outside shot, exceptional passer. Can't use it. Injury.
Paxson, one of the few misses for him in this quarter, but he'll get another chance.
Boy, how many challenges has he fought off over the years to retain his point guard spot?
Olajuwon, the shot will not count. Big first quarter for the Chicago Bulls results in a 13-point lead. Paxson with 11, Jordan with 9 to lead the way.
Olajuwon forces him to take a poor shot, reads it perfectly, and then heads up the court. Right away, there's Michael Jordan reading that they've got the rebound, and off he goes. Creates an opening, and heads up play by Pippen, who had spotted Jordan on the catch of the rebound. Houston, used to playing fast break basketball, did have a man to cut off Jordan at the pass, ended up fouling.
Michael's going to stay on the bench. John Lucas, at 36 years of age, comes in for the Rockets. Back where he began his career, and has he seen a few teams in the NBA?
Well, John Lucas is really a great story for a lot of people in the NBA. Had drug problems, came back, and now he's the eldest statesman in the league, and they talk to him, the league does, about drug problems and have him talk to players that might have the same problem.
Ed Neely. The lead is 15. Neely has equaled his per-game average.
A very serviceable player.
Celebrating his 30th birthday today. The lead 15. Houston hitting 7 of 20 in the first quarter. Dallas trading Cleveland, the Mavs and the Cavs going at it.
Boy, that's a team that was decimated by injuries, the Cavaliers.
Dallas has had its own problems, of course, but boy, they've been on a roll lately. They've won 11 of their last 13 and have surpassed Houston and Denver. Oh!
Well, a little problem with the defense to allow Akeem to even see the ball on the out-of-bounds play. That's what happens with rookies.
B.J. Armstrong with the ball right now. He's replaced Paxson. Armstrong, Neely, Craig Hodges, Horace Grant, and Stacey King. Shot no good. Olajuwon. So here's a case where Phil Jackson has 4 of his players from the bench in the ball game. There's Woodson. Olajuwon. Jump hook is good.
Stacey King doesn't know where it's coming at him from. Left, right, spin moves. Takes him a lot of experience to even challenge Olajuwon defensively.
Anthony Bowie is also on the floor for the Houston Rockets now. Here's Horace Grant. Hodges. Rebound by Larry Smith. A chance to cut the lead to single digits. Lucas and Armstrong. There's the double down from Hodges. Good switch by Armstrong coming over on Woodson. And the rebound goes to Chicago.
Woodson just having all kinds of problems this season getting his stroke back.
Neely, goaltending.
Well, for all the defensive deficiencies King might have at this stage of his career, he knows offense. What a pass.
34-21. That's Anthony Bowie, number 25, who has been playing behind Derek Chivas, but Cheney not too happy with the effort of Chivas recently. Foul called, and so was a timeout. 34-21.
For 15 years.
Olajuwon more than has earned his rest, no matter how long it takes. 13 points thus far. And Mike Woodson's at the line. They've got Lucas, Otis Thorpe, Anthony Bowie, and Larry Smith on the court now. And this is the point that Tommy, where Larry Smith really has to play out of position.
And he gives up an awful lot, but today probably won't hurt because they won't attack him with Will Perdue. The guy at the foul line is a key player that they have not been able to get on track, Mike Woodson. But here's Don Cheney going to try and pick the pace of the game up with some kind of pressure defense.
Hodges, B.J. Armstrong, nice dish to Neely. Oh, what a pass.
Put Michael in the middle, he'll find the open man.
Jordan obviously back on the court.
The total game.
36-23 with 9:24 to go first half. There's the double down with Neely and Jordan. Michael Jordan gets the foul.
Well, a trap. He gets in the middle and then looks to the opposite side as they attack him, and Neely really made himself available. Showed himself, and that was not an easy pass to track down. Neely, good soft hands to come up with the pass.
That last foul not on Jordan. It was on Perdue, and that's his third.
Otis Thorpe really had to make an adjustment. They've turned under this guy loose under Don Cheney. He's got running speed, not quite as fast as Karl Malone, but he's on a collision course, I think, with Karl Malone. Malone, a great player with that same style of play. And you can see Otis Thorpe developing along those lines.
Saw the substitution. Thorpe misses 2 free throws. Stacey King has come on now for Will Perdue, who goes down with 3 fouls. 13-point lead. Anthony Bowie knocks it back into the second row. Bowie, a second-year man.
Well, Stacey King now is going to be a low post player, and Smith might be able to deal with him.
Hodges, Jordan, that counts.
Make something out of nothing.
The lead is 15, 38-23. Bowie.
Basket by Bowie.
As a kid, he can do a little bit of everything.
Jordan with a pump fake off the feed. Hodges, the tip by Ed Neely. He's celebrating his 30th in a grand style.
You know what he did when he was a young kid?
What?
He was runner-up in the pass, punt, and kick contest.
You amaze me. Back it goes to Woodson. Ed Neely shows a lot of grit and hustle, doesn't he?
He's going to wear out that body pretty quickly the way he's going.
That's his 4th rebound. There's a loose ball taken down by Larry Smith. 40-25, just under 8 minutes to go in the half. Wild shot in a battle.
And had a good shot at a cleanup rebound that time.
Foul on John Lucas.
You're going to see Neely just come in here right now. Nobody really blocks him out. They forget about him because he's the top of the offense. He's wily enough to just step inside when nobody pays attention to him and make him pay.
Olajuwon coming back in. Larry Smith will sit down.
Johnson also in.
Taken away by Jordan.
He tried that trick again. I will create something.
And usually he does.
Sure does.
Ed Neely with 8 points and 4 rebounds. And really in playing yesterday in place of Will Perdue, who started the game, it was Neely who really sparked the come from behind victory, or helped spark it over Milwaukee. 3 on the shot clock, doesn't matter now. Houston has the ball. Olajuwon with 15 points.
Well, B.J. Armstrong, the rookie, didn't get down there quick enough to really help on the double team.
Chicago.
And Phil Jackson is going to call timeout. 7 court, Michael Jordan, guarded now by Buck Johnson. He's joined by B.J. Armstrong, Stacey King, Greg Hodges, who was on the line. That's a 2-pointer. His right foot was right on the line. Tried to squeeze it back and couldn't play.
He's one of those great spot-up three-point shooters, boy.
John Lucas goes by B.J. Armstrong. There's the 22-year-old trying to guard the 36-year-old.
36-year-old should not be able to get by a 22-year-old.
Sometimes speed isn't everything. Wisdom counts. I say that as one who's considerably older than 36.
I think so.
I knew you would. Scottie Pippen back in now. Lucas and Bowie will go to the bench.
B.J. Armstrong, Brad Davis ran 3 backdoor cuts, which is what they like to do to rookies when they play Dallas. And the whole team, the Chicago Bulls, got headbands with BD on it in honor of Brad Davis or B.J. Armstrong to make a point. So they have some fun here in Chicago.
Yes, indeed. 6.5 to go before halftime. Jordan gets his own follow. Oh, dear me.
I think I will do it this way this time.
Let's just levitate a little bit and then go for the left hand. Olajuwon off, or Thorpe rather, offensive foul.
He's a power player when he gets down low. That's what he did with the Sacramento Kings. Play a lot of low post. But another dimension added to his game here with the Rockets.
Chicago hitting 50%. Houston just above it, but they had a 7-of-20 streak in the first quarter. Paxson, little pick and roll with Horace Grant. And Grant hits 2.
He's extended his range, and he most of the season been up there in the top 10 in field goal percentage.
Lead is 17, 46-29. Floyd for Olajuwon. Knocked away. There's the outlet pass to Jordan. Johnson goes back to no.
They sure will get out there when they make a steal or a long rebound.
The lead is 19 with 5.5 to go in the first half. 48-29. Michael Jordan with 15 points to lead the way.
One of the all-time great finishers in that man, and Scottie Pippen and probably Horace Grant can finish strong too on any quick attempts at the hoop. So speed comes into play in their game too, but not quite as much as Houston.
That's the shooting percentage, not number of points, but percentage. 68% by Paxson and Jordan and Hodges and B.J. Armstrong, the backcourt man for Chicago. 36 for Houston. A little pressure applied. 5.5 to go first half. 48 to 29. And that thing almost taken away by John Paxson. Buck Johnson still in trouble. Finds the open man on the right side, Mitchell Wiggins. And he does a mid-air adjustment to get a basket.
That was a good pass by Buck Johnson that time to spot Wiggins.
Paxson goes right by Olajuwon. Scottie Pippen. Jordan. Stacey King gets 2 and will shoot 1.
He is a nifty inside player. They come out of college very infrequently, guys that really know how to play down on the box. Now you're going to see, as soon as Jordan makes his move, the lefty is screen, he starts heading to the hoop as Olajuwon tries to block out Grant. And Stacey King right there to take advantage of his open opportunity.
And that is the 3rd foul on Hakeem Olajuwon. Stacey King with 7 points now. Ed Nealy back in the court with 8 points and 4 rebounds in a very short appearance in the second quarter.
Get that body pumped up again. Put a little more air in it.
The lead is 20, 51-31. 4:55 to go. Wiggins gets 2 from the baseline.
Paxson in there and Michael Jordan. They're very reluctant to pressure the Bulls.
Jordan. King. Got 4 nice moves. This is the shot, and it's Houston's ball.
Olajuwon is letting him get great low post position.
3-on-2 break for Houston, and Wiggins will go to the free throw line. Well, the Chicago Bulls had the lead in the division for a while, but they don't anymore. They trail the red-hot Detroit Pistons, who have won 11 in a row. And next Sunday, the Pistons go to New York to take on the Knicks at Madison Square Garden. You'll see it at 12 o'clock Eastern Time here on CBS.
Knicks are tough at home, just like these Bulls are tough at the stadium here.
Billy Cartwright, as we said, tried to make a go of it today. He didn't even make the trip to Milwaukee yesterday, but decided to sit this one out with back spasms. 51-35, 4:10 to go before halftime. Jordan. Olajuwon takes it away from Nealy. Johnson traveled.
Did not get the ball back into the middle of the court, and the defense really was able to pick that up and stop it. If you're going to really run a fast break, you got to get the ball back into the middle of the court.
Leading scorers Olajuwon and Jordan, as you might expect, with 15 each. Michael Jordan. Mitchell Wiggins gets the foul.
Mitchell Wiggins is second, team's 3rd.
Charlotte has won only once on the road so far this year. Minnesota, Sacramento, New Jersey, and Orlando. But the one surprise, I think, is Houston in that list. 4-20, and 3 of those wins came back in the first month of the season. That ball slipped through Stacey King's hands. And when they did win, they won on back-to-back nights at Charlotte and Cleveland. Their only other road win outside of November came January 11th when they won at Sacramento, and they won that one by 3. Olajuwon. Larry Smith gets the rebound. Loose ball. Olajuwon gets it back.
Well, Chicago's pressure defense is keeping the ball out of the hands of Sleepy Floyd, forcing Buck Johnson to become the playmaker.
Johnson cuts the lead to 14. It had been 20. Pippen.
No talking that time. Buck Johnson had no chance. Didn't know that the pick was behind him.
Johnson goes by Nealy. Steps on the line. That's the 11th turnover for Houston.
When you get this far behind, the way to do it is really get out there and harass on defense. If you're going to lose by 30, lose by 30. He used to say, if you're having a bad ball game, what difference does it make if you lose by 2 or you lose by 30? Go take your best shot. Gamble. Be aggressive.
Jordan. Wiggins flies right by him after the pump fake, and Jordan puts it in.
He's home. He's home.
He's got 17. We got 2:35 to go first half. Buck Johnson will go to the line. Early on, it was John Paxson who led the way. Lately, it's been Michael Jordan, but the Bulls have dominated the Houston Rockets. They lead by 18, 55-37 with 2:36 to go in the first half here on CBS, a special President's Day broadcast. Vern Lundquist, Tommy Heinsohn. Johnson short, followed by Wiggins, and Bowie comes out of there with it. Sleepy Floyd.
Got to get him untracked a little bit and into this ball game where he's got some confidence.
2:10 to go before halftime.
20-second
timeout.
Gotta watch that one. It's gonna be a good one.
They won a big one yesterday at home against Arizona. At halftime, Cleveland leading the Mavericks 50-47. The only other afternoon game here on President's Day. Our score 55-39 with 2:09 to go. Ed Neely. That's only the 4th Chicago turnover of the first half. Sleepy Floyd, Wiggins, Bowie, Olajuwon. Neely with his 5th rebound. Maybe. Loose ball foul.
You know, Sleepy Floyd right now is just trying to make things happen for other people. Don Chaney has wanted Sleepy Floyd to become aggressive, search out his own shot, try and penetrate. And he's given the ball up before really knowing where his shot might be.
Good move by Stacey King. And then a nice touch on the ball.
I'll tell you, he's reading that defense down there like he's been that traffic cop for 20 years, ready for retirement. Really smart in that low post.
Yes, sir. He moved right by Olajuwon. Here's the turnaround. Johnson gets the counter. And it's a 57-41 score with 1:20 to go. Paxson, Neely, King, Pippen, and Jordan for Chicago. Largest lead of the game, 20. Well, it didn't work, but it looked great.
I'll tell you, Stacey King knew it was coming, too. It was just a little bit too hard. Next year, he'll catch those passes. Now, look at Stacey King right now. He's going to use the cutter. Give him a fake little pass. Look, takes the defense to the middle, and with the left hand wheels. I mean, that's knowing what to do down there. Tantalize the defense. Show them the ball. Make them react. Great move by King.
There's Stacey King out of Lawton, Oklahoma.
Maybe we will have Eddie Murphy play Stacey King in the movie.
Sooner than we thought.
Yes.
Buck Johnson gets the first to fall. Substitution now for Chicago. Craig Hodges will replace Ed Neely.
Back for more air.
5 rebounds, 8 points on his 30th birthday. He mistakenly thinks that's a big birthday. 30 is nothing.
Oh, wait a while. Wait a while, Ed.
Johnson gets 1 of 2. And we're under a minute in the first half. Olajuwon got the mismatch underneath with Jordan.
Well, Jordan was trying to outbox the passer by showing one side and then the other side. I think it was Sleepy Floyd read it beautifully.
Lead down to 13, 57-44. Shot clock shows 12. Paxson. Wiggins can't hang on to the rebound, and Hodges saves it for Chicago. Now, there's about a half a second difference in the shot clock and the game clock.
You know, Houston is not out of this ballgame. They have not played particularly well, but they're still hanging in there. And they are potentially an explosive team.
Anthony Bowie gets the foul. And now we've got 7.1 seconds
Penalty. Michael Jordan.
remaining. Michael Jordan will go to the line. That's the first personal on Bowie. Jordan was 17.
You know, he changed his license plate number. It was called Jump. Written on his license plate, Jump 23, and he changed it this year to Flight 23. Just a little something I came up with.
Save that stuff. We may need it in the second half. Don't use it all now, for
Okay.
heaven's sake. Here's Jordan.
A different ball player this year because the load is not totally on his shoulders. I was amazed at the stamina he showed for 2 straight seasons. Carried this team almost single-handedly.
Wiggins. Foul. Stacey King, who thought he had a clean block.
Here I'm going to play defense, and they won't even cooperate. They're going to call a foul on me. He's the goaltender right now, protecting the hoop. And what you do is supposed to attack it. I think he might have had a case. He retreated, had a hand on the ball. But, Stacey, you are a rookie. You got to earn your spurs. You don't get the benefit of the doubt.
He gets that call in about 3 years.
Yeah.
Right now, Mitchell Wiggins goes to the free throw line.
This guy, again, an amazing story. I think Lucas has had a lot to do with his stabilizing pretty quickly with this ball club. They brought Louis Lloyd back, too. These two guys were very much a part of their backcourt when the Rockets had a great team. And Lloyd not able to stay with the Rockets.
Boy, those are 2 costly misses. Wiggins misses them both. That's the end of the first half with our score. Chicago 58, Houston 44. Andrea Joyce will be back with the Prudential at the half after this message. CBS 9 to complement Jordan's 18-point first half effort.
Well, if Houston's going to get back in this game, they've got to play the real up-tempo style. This man we're looking at, Michael Jordan, is going to obviously try and stop that. He's at home. He's feeling good. The breakfast was delicious. And it's like right now for Michael Jordan, a Christmas play in front of his family, you know, right in front of the tree. Feels comfortable. Will sing any tune. That's what he's going to do this afternoon.
You know, that when you play 41 on the road, the benefits of playing at home can't be overlooked, can they?
Absolutely not, particularly when a team like this looks for emotion. Michael Jordan supplies emotion all over the league, but particularly at home. Great competitor, but the rest of the guys get jazzed up when this crowd comes alive.
As we started out, Wiggins will guard Jordan, and this is Sleepy Floyd on John Paxson. The other matchups have Otis Thorpe on Grant, Buck Johnson on Pippen, and Elijah Wan on Will Perdue. Paxson for 2.
Little 2-man basketball as Floyd tried to double Jordan. He read it, and Paxson just drifted to the absolute open spot.
On the baseline, whistle and a foul.
Well, when you want to get aggressive, take it to the hoop. Don't settle for jumpers. Drive to the basket, which is exactly what Otis Thorpe tried to do that time.
Foul on Horace Grant. That's his second. And Otis Thorpe will go to the line.
Don Chaney says that he has really come alive lately and really starting to understand what Don Chaney wants him to do. And I think he's going to be a great player for the Rockets under this style.
They need a few more points out of him today, though, if they're going to get back in this thing, and that's not going to help any. 4 points so far, 60-44. Just underway in the second half. Elijah Wan goes over Perdue and then comes back and makes the block. What a nifty defensive move by Akeem. Buck Johnson tripped.
Quick outlet pass. Sleepy Floyd looking up the court. 2 people out on the wings. They attack the hoop. That's what the Rockets want to do. Didn't end up with the hoop. Got fouled going to it.
That's the third on Scottie Pippen. Johnson
You know, and a team that's leading by this many points has a tendency to kind of let up a little bit defensively, and that might be a mistake. That time, nobody rotated to Buck Johnson. First half, everybody was at him.
Back to Paxson. That's for 2. Rims out. Olajuwon with a rebound. That's 8 rebounds for Olajuwon, who leads the NBA in that category. And there's Johnson for 2 more. And the lead is 12.
That's their game, and they can explode if they get aggressive. John Chaney said, hey, we weren't playing any semblance of our game.
Now the crowd getting a little restless now as this mini run by the Rockets is underway. Jordan, there was no pick there, and the ball batted out of Purdue's hands. It'll be Chicago.
Going to see quickly the outlet pass right to the wing as Thorpe, the power forward, is out in front. Has a good attack angle to the hoop. They retreat. That opens up Buck Johnson on the wing, who, with his new jump shot, has been a factor.
6 seconds on the shot clock. Scottie Pippen cans it. Sleepy Floyd.
Sleepy Floyd has a physical advantage and a quickness advantage on Paxson, just giving the ball up too easily.
Olajuwon gets 2 more. 62-50. Largest lead of the first half was 20. The lead at the end of the first quarter was 13. Purdue. The only Houston lead was 2-0. There's the outlet pass to Olajuwon. Matched up with Jordan, so they'll set up into their half-court offense. Wiggins. And here come the Rockets.
And Wiggins just drifted down, and Phil Jackson said, hey, we're forgetting how to play this game here in the second half.
Well, the lead has been cut to 10. It was 20. 9:23 to go, third quarter.
Excuse me, where should I go to find out just how good the Eagle Premier's 4-wheel independent suspension really is?
Just around the corner.
The good news is this Eagle Premier has a high-tech engine, European styling, and lots of interior room.
So, what's the bad news?
It's not mine.
This just in a breakthrough that is sure to fill a growing demand among today's beer drinkers, Miller introduces Sharps, a non-alcoholic brew with real beer taste. Miller Sharps lets beer drinkers keep their edge.
Mom, we need more Wheaties.
Right now, get Michael Jordan posters free on boxes of Wheaties. Collect all 3 and turn them into one jumbo Jordan poster. But you better hurry, because they're going fast. Better get your posters. Better eat your Wheaties.
If you thought you had to give up comfort to get a close shave, Norelco says, think again. Their revolutionary shaving system shaves skin close in a way that's incredibly comfortable. As the hair enters the chamber, the patented lift and cut system lifts each hair and holds it a split second before a blade cuts it, so it's possible to shave skin close without the blades even touching the skin. The lift and cut shaving system from Norelco. We made close comfortable.
Blades! Beauty! Olympic Winterfest! Countdown to Auburndale next Saturday.
9:23 to go, third quarter. Don Chaney's Houston Rockets have made a bit of a run now, and they trail by only 10. Chaney is a multifaceted person with a lot of different interests. One of them, surprisingly, is skydiving.
In skydiving, you're so tense. You're so hyper at one point. Once you jump out of the plane, though, and start falling, the tension just totally dissipates. I think basketball is a little bit more dangerous, especially to your heart.
I think it was at halftime. He was not a happy human being.
I want to tell you, that face of his when he was talking to me, he pumped this team up with emotion, supplied what the hometown crowd would not supply for this Rockets team. He gave it to them at halftime. Look at that furrowed brow.
Well, they have done what he said they should do. Phil Jackson concerned enough to call a timeout and stop the run. 62-52, 9:18 to go.
Really up on Paxson, making him take precious seconds off in the backcourt.
Paxson cuts around, sends it into Purdue, and back to Michael Jordan. Grant saves it for Chicago.
Great rebound that time by Grant.
Skip pass. Paxson goes by Thorpe, feeds Grant. Nice adjustment, but the rebound for Olajuwon. And a chance to get into single digits now for the first time since early in the second quarter. Johnson, the lead is 8.
I'll tell you, quickly up the side, and Thorpe to the middle, found the open man on the break. Off the rebound, the short rebound.
62-54. Lead at halftime was 14. There's a steal by Olajuwon. And a foul on John Paxson.
Whether it was a foul or not, it works out well for Chicago because there was a man streaking to the hoop wide open, and Olajuwon had seen him.
Ten to 4. Houston has outscored Chicago here in the third quarter. All 5 field goals. Johnson has a little bit of a problem controlling the pass. Here's Wiggins elbowing his way in. Rebound, Stacey King. Scottie Pippen, Chicago runs with it. Back to King, who's bumped by Wiggins, blocked by Olajuwon. And a good job by Wiggins to come down with the loose ball. Houston running again. Buck Johnson. Saved by Wiggins. Floyd for 3. Oh, boy, what a run by the Rockets.
They are looking at trailers coming up on the break, waiting for the defense to sink in, and they're all banging hard right now. Chicago's got to turn this around, the emotion of this game, get it back in their column.
Paxson. Foul, Sleepy Floyd. Ed Neely's going to come on the court for the Bulls.
And there's a man right now who will supply some emotion. He is a banger. But again, those big leads at halftime, boy, they're dangerous. Not much a coach can say at halftime when you're leading by 20 that your team will believe until things like this happen.
62-57 with 7:20 to go, third quarter. Shot clock at 10. Paxson finds Neely. Olajuwon might have. Basket count, let's see. And that is Olajuwon's fourth foul. It was
third foul on Olajuwon.
Misses. That's the third foul on Olajuwon. Gets the basket at the other end.
The double team not getting down into that low post quick enough, and King really doesn't have the experience to handle Olajuwon. But here's the man that's got to get the emotion back.
What a pick by Wiggins. What a dish that doesn't work. And here's a 3-on-3.
Well, Stacey King doesn't bump him out quite far enough. It's a one-step drop and a fall away. Just walk right through that double team. When the double team gets down there quick enough, that inside move gets sealed off.
Otis Thorpe back at the line. Ed Neely picked up the foul.
Well,
and Thorpe is shooting 2.
Otis Thorpe is going to outrun Ed Neely. So he's going to be a prime option on that fast break. They'll be looking for him, and he'll be out on the wing, and Neely will be under the gun.
A 14-point halftime lead has been cut to 3, 64-61. Scottie Pippen guarded by Buck Johnson.
They're uptight on Pippen.
Jordan. The double team comes from Otis Thorpe, and the steal by Wiggins. Rebound, Houston, Buck Johnson, the tip by Wiggins.
I'll tell you, when you attack the hoop, it's almost impossible to block people out on missed shots. Great offensive rebounding on the up quick.
The lead is 1. There's the switch with Thorpe out. Paxson for 3. No. Rebound Olajuwon. And a chance for Houston to have its first lead since 2-0. Wiggins gets it back.
You know, when your center can run as effectively as Olajuwon, you've got a 5-man attack streaming up that court.
Double down on Olajuwon. And Houston has the lead for the first time since they were up 2-0.
Well, they've got to get Michael Jordan to supply some momentum change here. That's the way they've been using him this year. Not to supply the basic offense, but to give them the needed baskets.
Houston has outscored Chicago 21-6 in this third quarter. Pippen, short, rebound, Floyd. Buck Johnson. Paxson back, and he'll shoot 2 as Paxson draws the foul.
Now there's the quick forward, up quickly. Here's an example of them running off the rebound. You're going to see them just come up with the board, and then Sleepy Floyd was back helping on the board, and Buck Johnson, a quick forward, out on the wing, and the point guard not able to take that attack angle away from Buck Johnson.
Johnson now with 10 points. Horace Grant comes back in, replacing Scottie Pippen for the Bulls.
Now that kind of means that they're either going to try and go inside to Stacey King or Grant, or Michael Jordan's going to go into his routine. They tried Pippen the last time up the court. It did not work.
There's a pick from Neely that almost knocks Floyd on his back. 67-64 Rockets with a 23-6 edge here in the second half. Jordan back to Stacey King, tipped away by Olajuwon. 3-on-2. Foul, Horace Grant.
But they had 5 guys up there against 3, as King never got up the court, nor Michael Jordan. You watch how quickly they come up at you. Here's Michael Jordan going one-on-one. They cut off the baseline. King has a good shot attempt, but look at them steam up the court. 5-on-2. That's fast break basketball. That's forcing the pace of the game.
Mitchell Wiggins increases the Rocket lead to 4.
Bill Jackson saying, John Bach, now what do we do here? Well, Bill well knows you gotta hit a few shots where there are no rebounds. It's very difficult to fast break off of made baskets.
Double team out on Jordan. Paxson just won't fall. Olajuwon with another rebound. And the basket at the other end from Buck Johnson. Timeout, Chicago. The Bulls are being booed by this sellout crowd. What a comeback by the Houston Rockets. They trail by 20. They lead by 7.
On the left side of the fairway.
Bo Jackson catches it at the wall and fires a bullet to McEnroe.
Ooh, wow. Delectable.
And now a word from our sponsor.
Nice shoes.
Gretzky takes the puck up the ice and fires
To back it.
Out of the bunker for a
score.
Game, set, and touchdown.
Nice shoes.
And now, a word from our sponsor.
Holy cow!
So the new...
You are truly amazing. 3:15 to go, third quarter. Olajuwon. No. Neely with a rebound.
There's that Ed Neely again.
Jordan back to Hodges for 2. He was inside the line. But he can't hit either.
This is where the fatigue is starting to catch up. This unit is starting to wear down for the Rockets. That up-tempo game, you need to play more players on the bench.
That's another example of it. Otis Thorpe with a second air ball in the last 4 trips down the court, so they have cooled.
This unit has played about 10 minutes of up-tempo basketball, very aggressive. If you've got a bench, it would have been in here before now to keep that momentum going. Don Chaney doesn't have that luxury.
He's still got the same 5 on the court. Wiggins, Olajuwon, Floyd, Buck Johnson, and Otis Thorpe. Michael Jordan, Thorpe, and his shot won't fall again.
Well, Chicago is cooperating. They just can't buy a hoop. They're working their offense. They're getting it to their big horse, and it's not happening. And look at Phil Jackson. Welcome to the ranks.
You got to have a little more empathy for that.
Yes, he was a great sixth man, you know, coming
Yes, he
off the
was.
bench for the Knicks.
Out of the University of North Dakota, 13 years in the NBA, 11 with the Knicks.
Really has his, must hoop right now. Momentum changer for the Bulls.
That's a big one. 71-69. Greg Hodges for three. Olajuwon back to Wiggins. Johnson, nice touch.
Boy, there's a guy that played center in college. You know, him playing quick forward in basketball is akin to a free safety in football having a linebacker's mentality.
Michael Jordan, his first basket of the second half. Timeout, Houston. Don Chaney sensing that the Hodges and Jordan baskets were big, has tried to stifle the crowd and the Bulls.
Slide into a pick. Wiggins makes a gamble to try and pick off the pass. And then it's showtime, baby.
Timeout called by Houston. Next score the Bulls 27-6 at one point and take a 7-point lead.
Well, that's what pace basketball does, Vern. It allows you to be aggressive. You force things to happen. You attack the basket. You attack every player. Yeah, you make mistakes, but it gives you an aggressive mentality. And that's what Don Chaney was complaining about at halftime. We aren't aggressive. Get out there and get tough and get mean and go.
Sleepy Floyd has the same five. Stay on the bench now for the Houston Rockets. And there's the 14th turnover of the game for Houston. Stacey King got a finger in the eye. The play continues. Now, Chicago is 5 of 20 in this quarter, but they hit their last two. Jordan for 2 and Hodges for a three-pointer. Here's Jordan. He'll shoot at the free throw line.
The idea of defending Michael Jordan, force him to the jump shot. Don't let him get to the hoop. And here's what happened to Stacey King. As he went for the ball, he slapped at it and hit him right in the eye, Hakeem, and one of those inadvertent fingertips. Eddie Murphy will not play the part. Stacey King now.
Michael Jordan gets the first of 2.
Anthony Bowie back for Wiggins.
Anthony Bowie comes in now for Mitchell Wiggins.
Wiggins, the older player on this ball club right now, and Bowie is a very good defensive player and an up-tempo guy, can get down the wing and make layups, so that's why he's in the ball game.
Now a little bit of a surge by the Bulls. They were down by 7. They come back to play. Been a fascinating Olajuwon. Beautiful touch.
And Stacey King is just staying on the floor, not even really challenging Olajuwon.
Foul came before the follow shot of Ed Neely.
Now, Bowie is giving the unenviable job of having to defend against Michael Jordan. That is a full-time task in itself. And Don Chaney says this young man can do the job better than anybody on the bench. So, again, we sit earlier in the game looking for specialists, hoping that Bowie will be the defensive specialist.
And a chance again for Jordan to tie it up. Jordan has 24. We're tied at 75.
You know, he wears new shoes for every ball game.
I'm assuming he doesn't have to purchase them.
Very much so.
That's how wise I am to the ways of the world.
Ed Neely went to switch off on Olajuwon. At least he's bothering Olajuwon's shot.
Jordan will shoot again.
Fouls on Buck Johnson.
And he'll give Chicago a chance to reclaim the lead. That is the 4th foul on Buck Johnson.
Here's Jordan, and he's Got Buck Johnson. That's a mismatch for Buck Johnson. Remember, he was a center in college. He's not used to playing quick guys like that. Nobody is.
Michael Jordan, 7 of 8 from the free throw line now. Ed Neely goes out.
Back to the air pump.
Scottie Pippen comes in. And we've seen Derek Chivas in the ball game for the first time today.
Derek Chivas is a guy that they are very unhappy with. He got a world of talent. They felt he got too cocky last year and really didn't work on his game during the course of the summer.
Chivas wearing number 3, and he's guarding Jordan, or being guarded by Jordan right now.
Now looking for offense from him.
Now, Don Chaney said yesterday he needs to grow up. Very immature and didn't work at all in the offseason.
Well, with these younger players in there, the Chicago trap defense trying to confuse the younger players of the Rockets, and there's Don Chaney with that dilemma. I put my bench in, and boy, we lose momentum quickly because we just can't execute. Frustration.
Yep. 15 turnovers. Chivas last year's number one matchup. We're seeing fewer and fewer amounts of playing time. 75-77, Chicago leads it. For 3.
Well, they made the double on Jordan. He was just waiting for it. And off of Hodges. You can't leave that three-point shooter alone.
That's the end of the third quarter with our score. Chicago 80 and the Rockets 75. We'll return after this message and a word from your local station.
In Springfield, Massachusetts.
Sellout crowd at Chicago Stadium in Chicago. The Bulls leading Houston 80-75 despite a strong Houston run in the third quarter that saw them come from 14 down to 7 up. They now trail by 5 as Don Chaney's bench woes are very evident.
And that's why he's frustrated with Derek Chivas, because Chivas had the potential to be an outstanding scorer. There's a reason for Woodson not being able to produce. Woodson has been injured a great portion of his career, but Chivas just didn't do his homework last summer to pick up some additional needed skills.
Houston with Sleepy Floyd, Otis Thorpe. There's the pick and roll. Goes back to Bowie. No. And Thorpe saves it. Chivas posting up, guarded by Craig Hodges. Here's Olajuwon. Chivas gets the roll.
Now that's his spot down there, but he's got the athletic ability to be a wingman, shoot the outside shot, drive strong, but he goes one way, to the right only, and he doesn't know that the rest of the league is caught up with him.
Scottie Pippen with a great fake, stuffs it in. The Bulls hit only 6 of 21 in the third quarter, but 2 of the final 3 shots they hit were three-pointers by Craig Hodges. And that really helped stem the tide after the Houston run. Here's Olajuwon. Nice tip and followed by Bowie.
That's a little bit of everything. That's what his name is going to be. A little bit of everything, Bowie.
82-79. Dallas leads or defeats Cleveland on the road. 96-87. That's 12 out of the last 14 for the Mavericks. 10:42 to go. Grant for 2.
Don Chaney is just hoping that while these reserves are in there, that the Rockets don't fall too far behind so they can again come out in the fourth quarter and be aggressive.
B.J. Armstrong. Floyd goes over him for 2.
Well, B.J. Armstrong, another rookie, played a certain style of defense at Iowa, not really used to playing one-on-one, man-to-man defense.
Double team on Stacey King. Floyd makes a pass at him and goes back and picks up Armstrong. Michael Jordan getting a rest. And the fight underneath will result in Stacey King going to the line.
Move by Olajuwon, no.
Time has been called on the court. 9 minutes and 53 seconds remaining. Chicago leads Houston 84-81. And King short with the free throw.
One of the problems with Stacey King was he came in at training camp at 260 pounds. Thought you had to be big and mean and tough. Forgot about quickness.
At the other end. Oh.
There is Malone in action, the mailman. This is Railway Express.
Otis Thorpe cuts the lead to 2, 85-83 with 9:35 to go. Scottie Pippen. Thorpe comes over to help defensively. Turnaround perfect. Horace Grant.
Now, it ended up a mismatch as Grant went in the low post against Sleepy Floyd. No chance there for Floyd.
That's for 2, Sleepy Floyd.
He's got to start looking for a shot to give this team some diversified offense on the perimeter. He can hit that three-point shot.
Field goal percentage 57-40 now, but this has been a late run by Chicago. They hit only 3 of their first 14 shots in this half. B.J. Armstrong over the back pass, over the head pass. Armstrong for 2. Otis Thorpe with a rebound. Houston trying to run again.
4 on 3.
Chivas will shoot a couple.
Now there was Chivas with his speed out on the wing, and the center comes up and makes the 4th man on the attack, and that really creates havoc with the defense.
How about on the previous trip down, Otis Thorpe with the speed?
Well, when Otis Thorpe becomes a middleman in a fast break and can pass, they start thinking about him as a passer. And incidentally, not too many people want to get in front of that body when he takes off. You may get hurt. Here's the last fast break. You watch Olajuwon, the rebound, and then up he comes the middle of the floor. It's a 4-on-3 situation. They end up with the foul attempt.
Meanwhile, Derek Chivas makes his second free throw after missing the first. So it's a 1-point margin now, 87-86. Jordan back in. Back to Pippen. Perfect.
Got in his range. He's not a three-point shooter. Put the ball on the floor. Got within 18 feet. He feels comfortable.
The Country Club, that's at 4 o'clock Eastern Time. So, Olympic events, basketball, golf, all next Saturday. Free throw woes.
Don
The Houston Rockets
is trying to keep his 2 main men in their tall front line in with the bench players, hoping that that combination will produce something.
Jordan misfires on the shot. Now let's see now. He's got Olajuwon and Thorpe and then the 3 backups. And Hodges takes it away, or is there a foul call? Jump ball.
Now they look long, and Thorpe was in the corner. Good heads-up play by Hodges that time to get out and challenge him. Thorpe was not his man.
Otis kind of grinned when he saw the call. Houston gets it. Chivas. And offensive foul.
Well, I don't think that was an offensive foul. He drove strong and spread out. Didn't really clear anybody out. Olajuwon thought it was a good play. But Chivas just waited a count too long to take it to the middle. He had that shot all the way.
Jordan joined by Grant, Hodges, King, and Pippen. They put up a 3-man game on the left side. Underneath, back it comes. Quickly out to Pippen. Nicely done.
They say he can't shoot from out there. He's given a pretty fair impersonation of an outside shooter this afternoon.
Olajuwon to Thorpe. And a foul underneath.
Off the double teams, Houston has been accused of only making 1 pass out and not around the horn to work the defense. That time it was worked very nicely.
Foul is on Horace Grant. That's his 4th.
Here's the double team on Olajuwon. It goes out once. Here's another pass around and then a pass inside as the defense rotated to Bowie.
And Chivas misses another free throw. Missed the first of 2.
I never saw coaches unhappy with a kid because he sees This kid has got all kinds of physical talents and he's got some offensive abilities and the emotions to be a great player.
Well, as it so often happens, missed free throws may be costly to Houston. They're 17 of 30 today. Hodges for three.
Well, there is a mistake, I think, in the defense. Never double with Hodges, man. He's too big a threat with the three.
That's 3 threes for Craig Hodges.
Work Scottie Pippen of the Chicago Bulls form a devastating open floor tandem. Jordan mesmerizes defenses, freeing Pippen for fast break dunks, while Pippen patiently looks for Jordan to break free on his way to the basket. Running the court together, teammates Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan work to be the best they can be.
Field goal percentage from three-point range. Right now, let's check in with Andrea Joyce.
Vern, as you well know, the NBA trade deadline is just a couple of days.
And trying to get something done.
Okay, thanks, Jerry. Don't count out the Bulls at trade time. Back to Vern and Tommy.
All right, Andrea, here's Olajuwon. A nice adjustment in the air.
Boy, for a center, he's got Michael Jordan hang time.
94-90, 6.5 to go in this period. Both teams 6 of 8. Houston had much the better of it at quarter number 3 when they overcame that 14-point halftime deficit. There's another foul in the Rockets underneath. And Stacey King will go to the line.
Yeah, Stacey King really has an understanding of offensive basketball. Pretty smart rookie. Slid in there, made himself available, got banged in the process. You know, getting back to Jerry Krause. Jerry Krause is really one of the, in my opinion, one of the top understanders of talent and chemistry of how a guy can fit into a particular ball club. And a lot of people could, malign him for other things. And it appeared to me that Doug Collins and Jerry Krause didn't get along. I don't think Jerry Krause really gets his due out here in Chicago. He is a great talent guy, and he can make a deal. Only this team right now, they shouldn't be fooling around with it. Let it mature like old wine. They got the nucleus.
You don't see any great need then.
Nope.
1 of 2 for Stacey King. The lead is 5. The time is 6:18. And Sleepy Floyd, Thorpe, Wiggins, Olajuwon, and Bowie on the court for Houston.
Otis Thorpe has turned into such an aggressive player. He's going to make you foul him.
He goes back to the line now after Horace Grant's 5th foul. And Ed Neely, that's the crowd roar as Neely gets ready to come on the field. And there are those Houston free throw woes again. Neely on for Grant. (18 of 32 from the charity line now for the Houston Rockets. 95-91, 6:07 to go in the game. Hodges a big part of this Chicago attack in the second half with 3 three-pointers. Loose ball. Houston. Sleepy Floyd. Wiggins short. Olajuwon and Jordan. Here's Jordan at the other end.
What a smart play by Jordan. As soon as Sleepy Floyd took that shot, he took off. There's the shot, and Jordan already up the court, and Sleepy Floyd had to hit the ground before he could get back and retreat. Easy shot. And unlike other coaches who might slow it down at this juncture, they're going to try and pick the pace up a little bit.
But there's Jordan and Thorpe to prevent Jordan with a breakaway. Grabs him around the waist.
That was just alert defense that time by Jordan, anticipating where Olajuwon's pass was going to be. A good foul by Thorpe to save the obvious layup. Now you watch right now. Here's the double team, and Jordan just hanging in the woods there. Steps out in front of the apparent open man.
Pippen, Neely, Hodges, Jordan, and Stacey King on the floor for Chicago. They have a lead of 6. Back to Hodges for 3. Reclaimed by Scottie Pippen.
Remember, we talked about moving that ball around in the offense. That takes the rhythm out of the fast break team's mind.
Olajuwon with yet one more rebound. That's 15 for Hakeem Olajuwon. Bounce pass to Wiggins, and Neely takes him down.
What a smart play by Otis Thorpe, as Michael Jordan was really waiting again to steal the ball on the outside on a double in the low post. And Thorpe just wheeled away on the baseline. You watch him. There's Michael Jordan at the bottom of your screen just waiting for that pass to come out. And there's Thorpe finds the open man Wiggins going to the hoop. Forced the foul on Jordan. And Michael Jordan gets you thinking offensively, defensively.
Neely with a foul, and Mitchell Wiggins with a chance for his 20th point now. 4:43 to go.
You know, when you're really an up-tempo team, dividends, the big dividends are supposed to come in the fourth quarter if your bench produces. That's when you count on breaking the game loose. Because the bench didn't keep this game even. They're going to have to play exceptional basketball, the Rockets, right now.
Well, they haven't gotten that much out of their bench, and this is when it really tells. They have not played that well throughout the year in the fourth quarter. Neely blocked by Olajuwon. That's his 8th block. And then he picks up the loose ball and forces it up court. Johnson. Neely to Jordan, to King.
It's Jordan time.
The Rockets may have run out of steam, but we've still got 4 minutes to go, and they're just down by 6.
Well, they're not getting to Mars, the Rockets. They may just get to Pluto. And here you're going to see Michael Jordan acting as a middle on the break, and there's their center, Stacey King, on the wing. Here's a guy that knows fast break basketball from playing at Oklahoma. He knows how to run, has got the run mentality.
Olajuwon goes to the line.
Olajuwon, you know, that phlebitis, you see him wearing that stocking that he's forced to wear. Not able to work out for 5 months. This is a remarkable season he's had after taking off for 5 months and reporting back for game 1. And that was it. His conditioning made the All-Star team.
Olajuwon with 29 points and 15 rebounds now. Jordan. And here come the Rockets again. Pippen takes down Wiggins, and Wiggins goes to the line again.
Why, Sleepy Floyd in that backcourt, unlike other fast break middlemen, has a willingness to unleash the ball up the court without a dribble practically. That's what really springs those quick, big people loose. Starting to catch on to this system a little bit. Fast break doesn't mean you have to have a good guy push the ball up the court all the time. He must make decisions on when to pass the ball along, and he's starting to catch on.
Well, the Rockets as a team have not shot free throws well, but Mitchell Wiggins has. He's 8 of 9 now. And the lead is 2, 99-97.
Did I tell you they would keep running, though, the Rockets, right down to the end of the ball game? And Jordan's going to try and slow it down and put it in his hands.
Stacey King, there's another block underneath. This time Olajuwon gets the foul. That's his 4th.
Now that's a confidence play by Michael Jordan to set the rookie up at this stage of a ball game against Olajuwon. Jordan's a little bit tired, so they go to this option. But there's Stacey King. I'll tell you, he has got the knack. And that's what I mean. A lot of experience down that low post, knows where the blue sky is. Olajuwon didn't have as much understanding of how to play in a low post as this kid did in his first year.
Gets them both. The lead is 4. 3:13 remaining in the ball game. clock at 8. Wiggins. Stacey King.
What a rebound that time by Stacey King. Just walked Olajuwon off it.
2:42. Shot clock down to 5. Backdoor cut. Neely.
Great basketball situation that time. Jordan gave it to Neely and just headed to the hoop, and Neely, with his smarts, found him wide open.
Ed Neely with the assist. Michael Jordan.
And a high post play, and Jordan just beat his man flat out.
Cheney calls time for the Rockets. It's a 6-point lead for the Bulls.
Everybody knows that Olajuwon is a prime option, but they double down, and it forces you to take outside shots. They want some kind of slashing action to happen.
Olajuwon, and he is fouled by Michael Jordan. And Hakeem Olajuwon goes back to the line. That's 3 fouls on Jordan.
Well, Jordan has the opportunity to work on the rookie. That's not a bad matchup at this stage of the ball game, but they're liable to get caught if they keep going Olajuwon, because Jordan's going to read it once or twice more, and we'll be seeing some more steals from Mr. Jordan.
1 of 2 for Olajuwon, and Neely clears it for Chicago. 5-point game.
Don't press in the backcourt. Ed Neely set and pick.
Jordan. The putback. Stacey King.
Boy, once again, he walked Olajuwon off the rebound.
The lead is 7.
They got to hit that shot. There's that defense giving it, saying, you're going to beat us. You're going to beat us from the outside.
5-point edge, 1:25 to go.
Trying to stay with Jordan one-on-one without giving an opening.
Shot clock at 2. Houston ball.
Ed Neely almost came up with a big rebound that time.
Rockets trail by 5. They haven't been much of a 3-point threat in the ball game. Here's Olajuwon with a turnaround for 2.
Boy, it just turned quickly from the double before Pippen got there. And Stacey King not going up to really challenge Olajuwon's rhythm.
Jordan posting up. They try and fight Stacey King. That'll be Chicago ball with 6 seconds left in the shot clock.
Well, they're showing an awful lot of confidence right now, trying to get that ball to Stacey King rather than Michael Jordan or Pippen.
The Bulls call timeout. Of course, was there with Bill Fitch as well, having once been a head coach at Baylor University back in the 70s. 105-102, 40 seconds to go. And the Bulls will inbound. Pippen, Neely, Jordan, Hodges, and King on the floor. Hodges heaves up a prayer. Buck Johnson grabs it for Houston. Otis Thorpe kicks it out to Wiggins. Back to Buck Johnson for 2. No. Rebound, Houston. In and out. And this will be Houston's ball.
I told you they're running right down to the end. That's the way they think. No set play at that point. They had a good fast break opportunity and several rebound chances off that initial miss.
And Don Chaney will use his final timeout now.
I think he's going to try and inbound it and slash to the hoop rather than take the outside shot and get their 3 that way.
Buck Johnson will throw it in. Sleepy Floyd. Immediately pressured by Hodges, then doubled by Neely. Buck Johnson for three.
Great defense by Chicago. Boy, they harassed every outside player, particularly Floyd. He almost couldn't move.
There's the foul on Scottie Pippen by Otis Thorpe.
Well, as soon as inbounded, all you can do is foul him quickly. You're going to watch as Floyd comes off. That was tough around. Tells good jokes, too.
Otis Thorpe, 6 fouls, so he goes to the bench.
It's been a very, very fun game. You know, a little determination. They say, hey, things like this don't happen in the NBA. Or Don Chaney got a little mad at halftime. All of a sudden, this team of his got aggressive. And you see one style against the other, the up-tempo against the half-court style. Either one wins in the NBA.
Scottie Pippen at the line. Well, Michael Jordan is our Miller Lite Player of the Game. Miller is proud to present a check for $1,000 on behalf of Jordan to the Thurgood Marshall Black Education Fund. And a 5-point lead once again now for the Chicago Bulls. They fell behind by as many as 7 in the third quarter. And Eddie Neely celebrating his 30th birthday today. Helps with a victory. 10 points and 6 rebounds for Neely and a good defensive effort. And the Chicago Bulls hang on to win it over the Houston Rockets 107 to 102.
Reebok and Sport Bar named the Bulls Player of the Game in the Chicago Bulls game. Today, the Reebok Sport Bar Bulls Player of the Game with 9 rebounds.
So for Tom Heinsohn and Andrea Joyce, this is Vern Lundquist saying so long from Chicago Stadium.